Hi everyone, this is Maiku at Starseed Tarot, and today we'll be doing a quick love reading. This is a pick a card reading, so if this is your first time doing a pick a card, all you have to do is select a pile and go into the description box, click on the timestamp next to your pile number, and that's pretty much it. For these types of readings, because they're very generalized, I highly encourage everyone to use their intuition to see what signs are revealed in the cards that are pulled or the cards that lay out. That's the best way that you can see how even tarots work for you. And so I'm always telling people when they ask me if I do tarot readings, I kind of feel like they're asking me, do you have gifts? And while I'm pretty reserved about how I respond to those questions when it pertains to tarot reading, everyone has the ability to do tarot readings. It's not just psychics who can do it. It really calls upon your intuition to see how these signs fit your situation or these signs resonate with you. And so maybe after this pick a card reading, you feel inspired to go buy tarot cards. I highly encourage you to do it. I myself have a collection of tarot cards, and yet I still love listening to readings, generalized readings, or even receiving personalized readings. And so for me, it's just kind of the more resources that you have at your hand, the better you get a understanding about your situation through divine intervention or divine messages. And truly believe everybody has these intuitive or spiritual gifts, whether it be dream interpretation or interpreting messages from the universe, or even helping your friends figure out what they're currently going through. These are all gifts that we have, these gifts that doesn't necessarily have a concrete explanation for. And so again, I highly recommend you to utilize your intuition to help you understand the readings and the piles that you select today. And so what you can do before you select your pile is pause the video, meditate if you would like. Meditate on the pile you want to pick or the pile that sticks out to you. In this situation, you are more than welcome to pick more than one pile. I also want you to be open but be aware of how these messages are going to resonate with you. And so without further ado, let's get started. Over here on my left is pile number 1. This is pile number 2, pile number 3, and pile number 4. So select your pile and let's get started. Alright, so an interesting situation happened when I was about to do pile number 1. The card that came up was actually the title card, and that's totally my fault. But whenever I do pile 1 readings, it's always a little bit more difficult for me to channel it. So I think this is just a divine sign letting me know to just breathe and focus on the messages that are coming through. And so I pulled another card for pile number 1, and the pile is a 3 of Swords. And so whenever I see the 3 of Swords come out in a relationship reading, it usually means that you're a person who has gone through a bunch of toxic relationships that have really hurt you and really forced you to create a heart wall around your heart, and not allowing other emotions or other people's affections to penetrate that heart wall to get to you. And when it does penetrate your heart wall, it gets transformed into this type of toxic emotion. And so as you can see with the 3 of Swords, it's literally like 3 swords, 3 X's piercing your heart, traumatizing your heart and how you even view or perceive a relationship or love. And so you're a person that is still getting over all these relationships, or maybe that it's been swept under the rug for so long that you're unsure about everyone else who's coming into your path. And so that is the first card that came out. I'm going to go ahead and pull out some more cards and see. So that is your past, maybe even your current, but that is your blockage. So oftentimes when I pull these cards that resonate with your past, it's your blockage. It's your blockage and what you need to deal with, what you need to take care of. And you can also even interpret this as, now is the time to take a break from even trying to pursue these relationships and really take care of yourself. Take care of your heart. Remove those heart walls. There's a lot of information out there about heart walls and how they're created and why they're created and how thick. This is even something that you can do on your own. You don't have to go to a specialist or a healer to remove that heart wall. All it takes is identifying what emotional triggers come up and what memory does it go back to. And once you can identify what that memory is, how do you handle it? And so even a forgiveness of the people who've hurt you, and a forgiveness of yourself for allowing those people to come in, and being unaware of how you were putting yourself in these situations. I often tell people, you just got to be more forgiving to yourself. All right, so I'm going to pull out one card at a time until we see a way to help you overcome this situation. So your next card, it's the Three of Swords. Your next card is Five of Staves. Five of Staves. This could even be a situation where these relationships had affected your relationships with your friends, right? Being casted out of your circle, being excluded, being ostracized. As you can even see here, it's like you're the sun and your friends are these in the shadow. And, while they've supported you, it also comes to a point where it's like, we don't know if we can help you if you keep getting into these toxic relationships with these people. And I'm using she because my deck is the Goddess Tarot deck, and with me being a woman, I just naturally use the pronoun she, but this could even be he, right? You as the sun and your friends telling you, just let it be. You don't need this relationship, or this person has caused a lot of trouble for you and your friendship. Maybe even a form of possessiveness had occurred in your most recent relationship, and you're unsure about how you can be on good terms with your friends again. And so for me, the Staves is also rebuilding your relationships with others. Okay, we're going to pull another one. Right, next one. Sacrifice and Guanyin. Guanyin is also a figure in mythology, which themes of compassion and forgiveness come up. right? Forgiveness of yourself and forgiveness of others. As I mentioned before, compassion, having compassion for yourself, having compassion for even your exes, to break up with them. If you care enough about them, let them go, let them be. You are not their person to help them deal with their traumas that have impacted your relationship. Stop going into relationships thinking you're going to fix these people, because that is not your job. That is not your job. All you can do for that person is be compassionate for them. Be compassionate for them and love them enough to let them go. Love them enough to tell them you need to work on yourself and you need to work on getting better for yourself and not for me or not for anyone else. And so the sacrifice is sacrificing this need to want to be in a relationship, this need to feel like you have to be with someone to complete your life cycle. So sacrificing that, because in the end, sacrificing a relationship isn't so much of a sacrifice at all. It's rebuilding that relationship with yourself as well. When you rebuild your relationship with yourself, you're rebuilding it with others. And so here, Guan Yin comes up. Guan Yin comes up to rescue you. She is also the embodiment of the goddess of mercy. Having mercy on yourself, she appears to you when you are at your darkest hours, when you are beating yourself up for why these relationships aren't working for you. And if it is you that keeps going into these toxic relationships, and in a sense, it is. But when you own up to that and you start cutting yourself off from toxic people, that's when everything will come together for you in your life, in your relationships with others, in your work, in your career. Everything will start coming into balance. So maybe even when you have a time to work on yourself or do some shadow work, which is confronting your the darkest parts of yourself, Guan Yin may even be the one to show up. I know in my own meditations, Guan Yin comes up. Guan Yin comes up to me when, I'm in my darkest hours. And so even when you see in the card with Guan Yin, she is holding something that looks like a baby, delivering you a message. Delivering you a message of self-love, compassion. It's almost like a rebirth from your darkness to your light. And so you can even see here the moon and the sun. A rebirth of you, and understanding how you can build that relationship with yourself. Number 4, the fourth card. Alright, card number 4, Pentacles. Oh, okay, so I think this is the last card for this reading. And the reason why I'm saying this is because for me, the Pentacles always refers to abundance and futuristic things that will happen in the future. And so once you have dealt with all these dark parts of yourself, abundance in love for yourself and love of others, and receiving that. Because over here, you keep giving yourself away. And you don't even know how to help out the people who you go into relationships with, because you're constantly giving, right? And the way that you give, they are small bandages. They are temporary bandages until that bandage comes off and the wound gets reopened, both for you and that person. And so, because you're constantly giving, you know, your cup of that receives abundance and prosperity and wealth, there's a leakage. And so when you start working on sealing up those holes permanently, is when the flow of abundance and the flow of wealth, the flow of love can start coming in, and you can start harnessing that. You can start holding in. You can think of yourself as that vessel for receiving all of that. And because your vessel had a lot of holes in it, you weren't being fulfilled. And so when you start working on yourself and repairing those walls, patching it up, healing internally, that's when your vessel can start capturing and holding it in, to be able to love others and receive it, and receive the love that is intended for you. All right, so I think this is it for pile number 1. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this resonated with you, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe to my YouTube channel, my Instagram, and my Facebook page. If you'd like to book a session with me, my information is in the description box below. Thank you so much, pile number 1. I will see you in the next reading. Alright, welcome, pile number 2. This is your reading. What I'm going to do first is reveal the card that was laid down as your pile card, talk a little bit about that, and then we'll draw additional cards. Alright, so the first card that comes out for you is the World, Gaia. So you are a person who is very spiritually in tune with your environment and the world, the energy of the world and Gaia. You are someone who loves being out in nature. You're someone who just has a natural respect for everybody else around you. You breed kindness, and you breathe kindness, and naturally the things that you set out to do, you're able to do it. You also don't worry about how you are seen in your social groups, and you don't worry about how the person who you are with is going to affect your social life. You are very open. You are someone who gets along with everybody. And so maybe you've even had relationships where they were international relationships, or you've lived abroad, or you've lived in a place elsewhere from your hometown, and you've just naturally connected with people. You might even be a water sign. Because you're so intuitive and you're so empathic, and you just kind of get people. And so that is the card. That is the first card. And actually, the card that came out for you next is the Balance card. The Balance card. And so when I saw this card come out, I was very happy. I was very happy for you, because you seem to be a person who just has everything together, and you're in a relationship where you are very in tune with your partner. You are also someone who just has that balance. You are set. You are just so set with your relationship, with your career path. It doesn't seem like you have any issues with people. Even in your previous relationships, you have come off of those relationships in a very civil way, and it was very mutual. Even if there are feelings that were hurt, you were able to set those differences aside, and still be friends with your exes. So I'm just gonna go ahead. It seems like this is a really good reading, and you're very balanced, of course, and a very balanced person. see. You definitely have a very prominent or dominant feminine energy as well, and just being connected to the earth. Even if you are a male, you're very connected to your feminine energy, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you identify as LGBTQ, and likewise with the women. It could just be that you have this well established balance with your masculine and feminine energy. So your third card, you just have really good energy with this pile. So I'm really happy for you. I'm really, really happy for you. All right, so next one is the Prince of Staves. See, even supported. You're supported by your partner. You're supported by your partner. You know, you have, the both of you have this mutual respect for one another. You speak, you're really well at communicating with one another, your emotions, or just what's not sitting right with you. Yeah, so for pile number 2, I don't see any blockages. I think, again, this is more so a reading to just confirm or validate what you are feeling. You right now are in a very, very, very good place, and it can only go up from here. So keep doing what you are doing, and this is it for pile number 2. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this resonated with you, go ahead and like, follow, or subscribe to my channel, my Instagram, or my Facebook page. If you would like to book a private session with me, my information is in the description box below. And thank you. Pile number 2, I will see you in the next reading. Alright, this is the reading for pile number 3. Thank you and welcome. First thing I'm going to do is reveal the card that was selected for your pile, and then following that, I will pull out more cards to just kind of go deeper into any messages that need to be relayed to you pertaining to your relationship or your love life. So the card that comes out is 9 of Cups. So you are someone who has a very good relationship with yourself. You have a really good relationship with yourself. You love just treating yourself to things. You know, you may even be someone who's not currently in a relationship, or if you are, you just have a really good handle at treating yourself when needed. And so I'm seeing the 9 of Cups, and you know, there's this woman sitting at the foreground, and she is relaxed. She looks like she's just having a good time with herself, and you know, there's 9 cups, maybe all for her, or maybe for other friends, you know, whatever that may be. It seems like she's very content with herself. She exuberates self-love. Something that comes to mind and I'm thinking of right now is rose quartz. Rose quartz is the crystal for unconditional love for yourself. You are definitely vibrating at a high level because you just know your boundaries. You know when you need time to be with yourself, and you know, yeah. But something that is also sticking out is that you spend a lot of money of yourself, and you have no regrets. Along with self-love, you have no regrets about spending for yourself, whether it be a purse or a luxury item. You just love it, and you know that even though it's a very material thing, you don't care because that transaction is serving you and only you. And so that's kind of what I'm getting. Let's see what else comes up. 9 of Cups. Yeah, there's even a rainbow going into one of the cups, as you can see here. You're also maybe someone who has a thriving abundance. a thriving form of abundance. You probably even have a job that pays you really well, either a nurse or with a corporate company or a company that is in healthcare. I'm thinking healthcare as well. So let's see. So maybe that's even why you treat yourself so well, because working in the medical industry, you or even in an industry where you're helping others, you're constantly giving to others, and you know when to come back from that and give to yourself. Alright, so the next card I'm going to pull is beginnings. Beginnings. You might even have just come off of a relationship and you've gotten over the whole depressing part of that breakup, and now you're just thriving in your self-love and you just love it. You love it. You love this relationship you've built with yourself. You have no regrets. You know, all the pain from this previous relationship that you're coming out of is over. That has ended, and now it's for a new beginning. And so here you even see Tara. There's also green Tara and white Tara, but Tara comes in also in alignment with the goddess of mercy. And so things that kind of pop up is compassion and forgiveness. You've gone through that point, and now you're just thriving in this. Now you're just kind of the mantra that you're channeling is love yourself first. Love yourself in a healthy way. Love yourself and give to yourself. Your vessel is repaired, and you are receiving abundance and prosperity from the universe, and you have no regrets at all. All right, the next one. All right. Okay, so your next card is 10 of Staves. You are the sun, and you have built this, your own sense of inner peace. And something that I always say, and something that I am actually, I kind of feel is a part of the collective right now, is, you know, you're in a place where you're telling people, you know, you are comfortable and you're content with where you are, and you have no intentions of going any further or furthering a relationship with anyone else. And so you are the sun, and you have built this place where you are at, and you know, you are very much about protecting it. Right, so I'm kind of just gonna pull out another one. And asking tarot, where else can this take you? Or what to look forward to? Spiritual outlook, positive spiritual outlook. Okay. All right. Ooh. A celebration. So you might even be planning something with friends to celebrate this. I mean, Halloween is right around the corner, or if you're watching this and it's not in the month of October, or it's not going to be Halloween soon. It could even be a birthday. It could even be a woman's night out. You know, you have gone through this journey of knowing how to empower yourself or take that back, and you want to share that with your friends, and you're willing to bring your friends into that journey that you are in. And so, as you can see here, it started with the cups and it ends with the cups. Prosperity coming in. That rainbow is still in the back. The sun is right there. It's just a moment of celebration with your friends, your closest friends, and being happy for them. Being happy for them, in that they have also overcome some of their challenges. And so your journey, what you want to do with that is also help others see their worth, help others to overcome their challenges, and overcoming relationships, toxic relationships. You want to share that. And so this is it for pile number 3. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this resonated with you, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to my channel, my Instagram, and my Facebook. If you would like to book a private session with me, my information is down below. So thank you, pile number 3. I will see you in the next video. Alright, so welcome, pile number 4, people who picked pile number 4. This is your reading, and the first thing I'm going to do is reveal the card that was selected to be your pile number, and then from there I'll be pulling up more cards. So the card that was very first selected for you is the 4 of Swords. Alright, the 4 of Swords. Well, it definitely feels like you're exhausted from everyone and everything that you're receiving. You're also just kind of, the message that I'm getting is you just want everyone to leave you alone. You are so exhausted from what everyone keeps telling you. It's almost like you know you need to make a decision now, and you don't want to because you're afraid it's going to affect other people in your life. And so you have quite a few challenges that are coming your way, and you don't know what to do. And for you, every time you're confronted with this, you just go into flight or fight mode. It could even be that it's this relationship that everyone's telling you to get out of, or that you need to make a decision within that relationship. Maybe you've been proposed to and you're unsure, and everybody is telling you you need to do it, but your views and opinions about marriage is very different from what other people are thinking. Alright, let's see. More cards to be revealed. Kind of have a feeling I'll be drawing quite a few cards from this. What should you do? Is that the question that you would want to know? What should you do? You're wanting to know, what should you do about this relationship? What should you do about the decision that you are going to make? of Staves. Six of Staves came out. The Staves for me is about rebuilding. It's about building something. It's about having to reconfigure everything that you're dealing with. You may even be someone who's a fire sign or has a fire sign in your natal chart. And so I'm kind of also, some of the things that are popping up is marriage, or going on into committing to some kind of a relationship, either a relationship with a new job or a relationship with someone, or rekindling that. Right? Let's see here. What's next? You may have been even trying to evade the challenge or the circumstances that you're in. Actually, your ascendant, check your ascendant sign. You may even be someone who's a fire ascendant. Let's see. Okay. Yep, it looks like there is a man waiting. There is a man waiting for you, and you're unsure. You know, everything seems right, but you're hesitating. Maybe it could even be that you are not ready for it, and you still enjoy the life of being not tied down or not being committed to someone, because you're just enjoying this. You're enjoying your relationship with yourself so much that you don't want to be tied down. You don't want to share a house with somebody. You don't want to share dishes with somebody. You don't want to, have to make a decision. You don't want to be tied down yet. That's what I'm kind of getting. And, he's just kind of like patiently waiting there, He's patiently waiting there and just waiting for you. And he may even be someone who is very patient, someone who has a good relationship with his mother, a really good guy. He may even be older, significantly older than you, and yet you're hesitating because you're not done yet. You're not done being free. I think that's almost even something that you're afraid of. Again, going back to the idea of your views about marriage is not what others may think. And for him, commitment is marriage. Commitment is a ring. Commitment is having to share space. And maybe the reason why you are this way is because you haven't seen a lot of marriages. You haven't seen a lot of marriages thrive or make it. And so you just kind of have this feeling that, it might not work for the both of you. Even though you believe truly that he is a really good person. All right, So we're gonna pull up another one. Okay, and so Alright, so I have two cards that popped out. This one came out first and this one came out there. See? There we go. The King of Pentacles. Maybe it's that, you know, his side of the family is just stubborn. It seems definitely like he's the stubborn one as well. He's just not taking your answer for nothing. And so while you appreciate and you respect him and you love him or her, he's not backing down. He just wants to marry you, or he just wants this commitment with you. And it could even be something where it's coming from his side or their side, or maybe there's like pressure, but there's also stubbornness, not backing down, feeling like for them, if they get into this marriage, then it'll be set for them. You know. Then here, the card says transformation, but she just seems so frazzled by it. And it just seems like, I think, the way that you view marriage is very different from those around you, and they're just not going to understand where you're coming from. And so it's challenging them to also view what marriage is, view what commitment is. Like, is commitment a ring? Is commitment shared household? What is commitment? I think it's even challenging the ideas about what is commitment. I think that even when you agree to this commitment, then what does it do to you? You may even feel like you'll lose a part of yourself, and you may even feel like it'll change who you are. It'll even feel like if you get into this commitment, you're going to lose your sense of independence. You're going to feel transformed, not in a way that will best serve you, but will serve others, and you are struggling to hold on to that. Right, so I'm going to pull another one. Flips out. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? All right, two more came out. Okay, beginnings and the 10. All right, so, you know, I think at this point you have to make a decision about where this is gonna go, where, how committed you are to this relationship, and how much further you want to continue doing this. And so it may even be where if you should break away from this person, that relationship, um, that even if you want to break away from this person, that this relationship with yourself is um, going to help you out. And so you also have to go back and remember that this is your journey. This is what you should do for yourself. If it is not comfortable with you, that you want to be in a committed relationship or be in a relationship that is that that utilizes commitment in the traditional sense of marriage, then you have to book it, because you are just going to keep stringing this person along thinking that someday the both of you will be married, when in actuality you know for yourself that it's just not going to be that way. So you have to make the decision, is it something worth holding on to or letting go? You have to continue to remember that this is your journey as well. This is your journey, and what do you want from it? And so this is pretty much it for pile number 4. If this resonated with you, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to my channel, Instagram, or Facebook page. If you would like to book a private session with me, you can look for my information in the description box below. Thank you for tuning in, those who picked pile number 4. I will see you in the next video.